zero pressure, but I'm like really looking forward to this. My parents tonight, they were just like, "What interview are you doing tonight?" And I was like, "Oh, no, no, no. No, this is different. I convinced an author to read to me."
Oh. Recently, I have a short story out that's officially published in a literary horror magazine. It's called Ogreog Annual, and the editor is I don't know if you've heard of him. He's got like a little cult following, I think, but Corey Dawson from the Diabolical Index. And yeah, so my short story's in there. It's called Stone in the Gizzard. Chicken horror,
I love chicken
darlings.
horror.
And I was talking to Sarah earlier, and we might have some more exciting news soon, but I better keep my mouth shut about that. All right, y'all, let's get into this. I've prepared some excerpts from my debut novel that is unpublished as of this time. It is called The Darkness Between Us. It is book one, and this one's called Autumn Leaves. I'll be letting you know which point of view it's from. um, Chapter one, Alex. The waxing gibbous hung in an inky blue sky, its cold light spilling across the old Laurel Grove cemetery. The wind stirred the brittle leaves into mounds of whispering crimson tongues. Even if the night were pitch black, I'd still have found him. I could pick out my target by the sound of his heartbeat. I came to a neoclassical mausoleum known as the Mausoleum of Lost Love. The structure itself was a blur of history and local legend, still beautiful, though its exterior flaked like ancient bone, iron bleeding into the white stone itself. The gate, long ago rusted shut from standing so many seasons, kept passerbys from entering, however useless for keeping the ghosts within the crypt below. And there he was, lying in the mausoleum's shadow, 6'1", tan, rippling with muscle and dark body hair. I took note of that careless, perfect smirk as I closed in. I'd wipe that off his face soon enough. I felt nausea and hunger simultaneously. I was silent, ghostly, but the slightest shift in the air, I could see the microscopic twitch of his ears, a predator's howl. I'd miscalculated, and it was already too late. In a burst of motion, he was on top of me, holding me down, grinning hungrily. He'd pinned me to the damp grass where the soft blades collapsed beneath my flesh, his scent overpowering the sweet rot of the dead below us. So the hunter becomes the hunted. Tale as old as time, I said, trying to sound blasé. I proved that I was stronger than my size as I threw him off of me like a leaf. I hovered over him as he lay on his back in front of a tombstone. The name etched into it eroded away into illegibility long ago, though I knew whose ashes lay beneath and the name it once bore. He got to his feet, taller than me by a head. I may have been ancient and powerful, but if it came to it, he could shatter my neck like a glass bottle. If I didn't take him out first, that is, though he seemed intent on taking me out, except not in the sense of destroying me. Or so I hoped. Because you see, in 3,000 years, I hadn't exactly dated a lot, much less another species. And if I'm being brutally honest, I wasn't sure this could be considered a date. Could be that he needed some casual male bonding with a creature whom he should despise. A plot to get me alone and kill me. Worse still, a plaything, an experiment for some lost boy finding his way. I'd known the ache of this too. In the 16th century, a poet came between my best friend and me. In the end, he'd not been ready to commit to a relationship with another man, nor an immortal, so he'd chosen a mortal woman and died in poverty. I think perhaps his later work showed regret. though it came too late. The worst part was that I actually cared what this was. I saw a sparkle in his dark eyes that both thrilled me and salted a wound that never quite healed. Same glimmer in the eyes that says, "You and I are the only ones in the world." And I'd seen that look before. That look could be dangerous. When I looked at him, when his warm brown eyes met mine, I felt almost like my heart was beating again in the deafening silence of the cemetery. All the bones long ago settled into the crypts below. I couldn't help but admire him, though I tried not to be obvious. He wore a tank top that showed off his muscular physique and hairy chest, a pair of thin athletic shorts, and Converse low-top sneakers. Bet that outfit would look great on my floor. I stopped the smile threatening to escape my lips. He looked like summer. I looked like a funeral. I'm skipping around a little. Rolled my eyes. It was stupid, but a laugh came out anyway. He was funny. I like that about him. The self-deprecating humor was refreshing, although at the cost of truth, clearly, as I found myself trying not to stare at his crotch. Don't be obvious. But old habits die hard, even after one's already dead, it seems. His scent didn't repulse me. I was drawn to it, as a bat to a night-blooming epiphyte, a pollinator of darkness. Sorry, he apologized. I've never done this before. You've never met in a cemetery with a vampire to discuss a threat to your shared community? I asked, trying to sound like I hadn't thought this was anything else. No, he sighed, I've never. Then he paused, and the wind held its breath, waiting for him to continue. Never mind. He pushed it aside. A lot on my mind. Put his muscular arm behind his head, grinning awkwardly, exposing the coarse hair that shadowed his armpit. A whisper of the erotic. I looked away too late. He'd seen me gazing at the secret dark place beneath his raised arm and the well-defined biceps and triceps. His tank top's arms cut so low I could see everything, and I dissected him with my eyes. Serratus anterior, pectoralis both major and minor. The obliques were embroidery around the latissimus dorsi. The male back can be a work of art, I'd said in a life long ago, and his was just part of a masterpiece, and in each muscle, his anatomic poetry sung for me in Latin, his body a hymn. And he must have sensed me admiring too closely the wolf nearing the surface, this beautiful, deadly anatomy. I wanted that deadly anatomy. Was he sensing prey or a threat or something new entirely? He became quiet, then he said something I didn't expect. I'm really glad to see you again. Oh? Oh? I asked, not wanting to pin my hopes on him, on his words, his intentions, on anyone. Centuries of self-reliance. Yeah, he said after a pause, as if he'd been thinking so deeply to give me this monosyllabic response. Still, I clung to the word. I let it hang in the air. I let it fall over me like a veil. Yeah, I like you, Alex. Hearing him say my name sent a fair imitation of life skittering across my cold flesh. I didn't think he knew entirely what he meant, so I couldn't possibly know how to respond, yet, surrounded by the silence of the dead, his heartbeat nervously reverberating through the immortal corpse my soul was bound to, I felt something like being alive again. And my hope lived there for a moment, in that fluttering heartbeat among those who'd gone silent. And what does that mean? I asked. He knelt and took my hand gently. He kissed it like a knight who didn't know what dragons he might yet have to slay, what battles he might have to fight, or what walls he'd have to scale to reach me. And in the end, if I'd even be worth it. I'm not sure, he said, but I'm figuring it out. Trust me. He got to his feet and we sat beneath this so-called mausoleum of lost love in silence. Ironic. After centuries of loss and betrayal, trust was not something that came easily to me. Still, why did it frighten me? I'd been through it, hadn't I? And here I was, resilient, stronger in spite of it, if not a bit skeptical. What worried me was that I couldn't read or predict him like I seemed to be able to with everyone else. Even as I did with strangers. I'd been I'd been this way before I was dead, assessing, predicting, and acting decisively. His scent mingled faintly at the rusted gates with the aroma of violets and laudanum, the best known ghost story of the old mausoleum, alive and well, and now bleeding into my own. I tried to listen to the silence as we sat there, trying to guess what he would do or say next, and I couldn't. I couldn't get a sense of his intentions, and it maddened me, my mind obscured by the vast darkness between us. So that's part of chapter one.
Dude, flippin' poetry.
Well, do you want to hear the other POV? Because it's certainly not poetry. And that's kind of the feature here, is that we've got two very different narrators. And one's a little more poetic, and the other is a little more, should I give him a little taste of Christian?
Like werewolfy?
Yeah.
Is he werewolfy? Then yes,
He's
I
a
want to hear it.
he's a Cuban-American werewolf with ADHD. So
Lay it
we've
on
got
me.
ancient meets modern. We've got eloquent vampire and chaos spiral.
But
So
also just
here's
like the atmosphere. Can we just like really quickly just talk like you literally just like read like I don't know how long that was. I felt like I was there.
I love
Like
that.
I
That's
I
Gothic.
could I could smell it. I could hear the silence even though you were reading. It
I love
it did it. It did it for me. But anyway, yes,
Thank you
werewolf.
so
Werewolf.
much. I really wanted it to have a sense of Gothic to it.
I it you yeah. Yeah.
Thank
I mean,
you.
the second you said mausoleum, I was like, yep.
Yep. We're there.
No.
We're
Yeah, no,
there.
I'm still there. Let me hear this werewolf.
So this is just some excerpts because he's really chaotic, and I don't want to give too much of the story away,
That's fair.
but here we go. He's chapter two, Christian's talking about why werewolf puberty is not the most fun thing. I really wish Altia Amanda had found in my laundry hamper was the occasional crunchy sock, but oh no. She found a half-eaten conejito, a fucking adorable bunny rabbit. Big chunk missing, bite taken out of it, dried blood like rust. Its eyes were like empty dark glass. I see those eyes to this day sometimes. Los ojos del conejito muerto. Sometimes in my dreams, sometimes in the middle of the day, whatever. I see him looking back at me like when I was 12 and Tia Amanda pulled it out of the laundry hamper, staring at me, accusing, talking with its little dead bunny voice. You did this to me, monster. Will you kill me again? Tear me open again with your teeth? Rip me apart? Finish the job? Maybe next time you'll do it to someone you love, like your sister, your Tia. You'll hurt everyone you love because you're a monster. It's a whole lot. But me and Fantasma Conejito go way back. Ghost Bunny is one of my worst and oldest pals. Seriously though, that shit's horrifying. When Amanda pulled the dead bunny out of the hamper, she didn't scream, no. She sighed and she pointed to me and said, Christian, doctor. And I just nodded and just still shaking, trying not to cry. I felt like I didn't know myself. I couldn't control myself clearly. The doctor shrugged. Hormones. Yeah, boys will be beasts. Psychiatrist said trauma. So yeah, maybe therapy about it. Oh, trauma. I laugh now. I'd eat that kind of trauma like bacon, because the real trauma was blowing in like a hurricane about to fuck Miami. And then the meat not so cute when the So I'm explaining I'm a werewolf, but I am dressed as a vampire for irony. For irony.
Yeah.
No, you see, my costume is ironic because I'm a werewolf. Wait, ironic. Are you not like me? He raised an eyebrow. Like you. Gay, you mean? Then my brain short-circuited. When I was finished buffering, I said, "Oh no, I'm not. I've never. No, no, like me, like how this is ironic, like you're not a wolf." I realized he must be human. "No," he said. "So you're human." He sighed. You'll get it, I'm confident. I looked away, thinking of those stupid logic tests they make you do. Question 19. If Christian's costume's ironic because he's dressed like a vampire and is a werewolf, then Alex's costume must be ironic because he is dressed as a werewolf and is a... I stopped. He lowered his eyebrows, scowled, and hissed, "Say it." "Oh my God, are you referencing?" "I totally am," he laughed. "Is it as big a joke in your community?" "Fuck yeah." And he had me laughing too. "So I'm supposed to be all tortured and romantic, and sunlight makes me sparkle instead of killing me, and somehow be fascinated with the most boring mortal girl who ever lived, somehow? As if. Yeah, and all werewolves are supposed to be sort of ripped, tan thirst traps." He raised his eyebrows and said, "Oh, come on. Okay, so maybe I'm not helping the stereotype." And we both laughed. Then my chest tightened, my ears pricked up, my spine went rigid with anticipation. I'd let my guard down, but had quietly connected the danger before me. Scene. Tonal whiplash.
Dude.
So we've got two very different characters who are...
And lots of Twilight shade.
It was all I could do to not mention by name. I'm like, I'm not going to mention it by
You don't have
name,
to.
but...
You don't have to. As soon as you said say it, I was like, oh my gosh, I know where this is
What
going.
else would he say? It's like he's figured it all out. What else is a sarcastic, like 3,000-year-old vampire who's assimilated all of this knowledge of the modern world gonna do but make fun of something?
I need this to get published now. Um, I think we all do. I think we all need this in our lives.
Hopefully.
It's witty poetry. It's it's giving me feels. It's giving me atmosphere.
I haven't even
I
gotten to the Mortal Kombat revenge fantasy scene.
don't spoil that one.
I love this story. I think we write for ourselves first. And I think I wrote a story that didn't really exist in a way that I wanted it to exist and explore these themes of feeling so isolated in yourself and then feeling like you're a monster, but still finding like love and trust through that darkness. And I've got 5 books planned. I've written 3 of them. Thanks for having me on to, read my little story.
So I look forward to having you officially on the Plot Thickens. But I'm really glad that we did this, and I'm super excited to cut this video up and paste it all over the internet.
Thank you so much. Oh,
No, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank
I
you for bringing
appreciate
us
you.
stories.
Thank you for supporting me and everybody else here. You're an angel.
So I